Welcome in to Normalize PTSD and happy holidays, everyone. I hope everyone's having a great Christmas and Thanksgiving and all that. This is one of my favorite episodes of the year to do. It just gives me an opportunity to reflect back on the episodes I did, growth I had, maybe some setbacks. It's funny because it's never a linear motion. It's always seems to be, two steps forward, one step back. But through my notes, I just wanted to touch on, I'm really thankful for my family. Like mom and dad, you guys are awesome. Tiff, Shane, you guys are great. Mikey, always there for me. And on that, if you guys have not gone over to that SEC podcast and listened to my cousin, Mikey, and my brother Shane do their thing, it is hilarious. I love their podcast and can't rate it high enough, So if you want some funniness to break up the seriousness like I do, when I'm not doing my podcast, I always listen to theirs just because it just makes me laugh a little bit more. On that, my family, it seems like they're really focusing on mental health and growing, and I see that dynamic changing a lot. I see them both smiling more, loving life more, so that's really cool and exciting. Jess, you're awesome. I really appreciate all you do around his house and taking care of the dog. I got a dog this year. Its name's Kubo. He is insane, but we're in the raptor phase. Hopefully we get through that before I let him go forever. And I'm just kidding. He's great. He's definitely a handful, and he is a delight. Wanted to say thanks to a lot of the friends that are out there. Kip, you're always hooking me up with ideas and connections, and Lomo, he's always challenging me to be better. Same with Tony, Hambone. He's got an awesome business. If you're looking for someone to help you with your VA loan for a house or a refinance, can't recommend Justin Hamilton enough. I believe it's EOD Home Buyers. Him and his wife are crushing it over there, always doing really good stuff for the EOD community. Ben, you've been awesome too, man. Appreciate it. I can't wait to work more with you guys. There's a couple we're working with. Gibson, I appreciate you too. Cordell, Cole, Ski, the whole Charleston crew, Luke crew. Have been reconnecting with a lot of the old guys from deployments and stuff, and it's been really nice. Talking, it's neat seeing the individual growth of them and seeing where they've gone, and it's just so much fun just talking to them and bouncing ideas off with them. Ski, he's out freaking panning for gold. I never would have guessed that, but I am also not shocked. And then of course there's always the professional assistance that I get. Sarah. She runs a really good organization. I'll add that in the show notes. Abigail Manning, couldn't be where I'm at right now without her. She's amazing. She's always sending me guests as well as, cheering me on, and she's crushing it. So if you want a really positive person to look up to and listen to, I can't recommend Abigail Manning enough. Matt Domyancic, he is really challenging my understanding of spirituality and just my own personal growth, and he's just a constant positive influence in my life. I really enjoy talking with him, and I can't wait to us doing a couple more episodes. We have a really good series lined up. I just really have to buckle down, and I plan to in January to knock that out. It's going to be a little series on spirituality, and it's going to be a really neat perspective. I don't know. We'll talk on that right now. So future stuff. I've noticed that I've taken some low-hanging fruit. I've been gifted, and I have people reach out and they want to jump on the podcast and stuff. And I've taken a few of those and turned a few down, but I don't know. I feel like I am losing a bit of my passion for my mental health thing and the podcast. And I feel like maybe a bit of that passion is because I'm not chasing the things that I find really interesting and valuable. And I also think it's a little bit to do with, it's a bit disheartening. I feel like the mental health thing, I don't know. Like in my job, what I do is a lot of quality control stuff. And part of that is, you identify problems, you see problems, but usually fixing that problem is not going to fix everything. A lot of times you have to track that down until you find the root cause of all the problems. Because if not, you're just fixing cascading or downstream consequences of a root cause problem. And I'm applying the same logic to mental health. And I mean, it's not always this case, but for me, it has been. And I see a lot of these groups and things out there and books and whatnot. They're pitching a cure or a fix all for things. And it's my opinion, which is just an opinion, that a lot of times these people they're just they're not hitting the root cause of the problem. It's like low hanging fruit. It's easy. It's fun. Yeah, it would be a really nice coping mechanism. It could help for a bit. It might, like, the spin zone is like, well, maybe if it does help a little bit, that might spark an interest in diving deeper into things. But I feel like that's not the intent. I feel like a lot of these people are looking to take advantage of those who are struggling. And I know when I was at my darkest, I would have done anything, like absolutely anything. So I feel like some people are out there taking advantage of that. So that was a bit disheartening. So I think I'm just going to ignore that and just go on about it my own way, because there's times that I see myself and I like compare myself to that. I'm like, is that what I'm doing? And a lot of times I have to remind myself that that's not what I'm doing. I've never made a penny off any of this, and I don't ever plan to. I want to make this and anything I ever create as free as I can. But I don't know. Anyways, that's just a little bit of, I guess, vulnerability of being honest with where I'm at with a podcast. Sometimes it's really hard to get to edit a podcast. And on that, thank you, Adore Marketing. Kate, Lisa, Haley, like that group of ladies are amazing. If it wasn't for Kate constantly poking me, which I need to get better to where she's not doing that, because I'm sure she has better things to do with her life. But I really appreciate all of them. It's not just for the social media marketing. It's any question I ever have. They're there to help. They're there to brainstorm on making things better. They're yeah, they're just all around awesome. Kate does a great job with the graphics and then releasing some of the stuff. And Lisa's always there to, if I have a problem like with website development, or Haley really assisted me with putting the button for donations on my webpage. The goal with those donations is hopefully to dive more into TBI. There's a few groups that can help with TBI, and I know some people that have TBI that can benefit from it, but none of it's free. So my goal is to raise enough money to sponsor a few of the EOD techs that I know into it. I think the episode, because I'm recording this before the episode releases, but I'm pretty sure it'll come out. It's going to be Dr. Gordon. Dr. Gordon and I had a really long conversation about TBI. It was really informative. I enjoyed it. I don't really trust anyone or anything, so I didn't want to vouch for it. So I put myself through the program to see if there was any benefits to it. And for the first time in my life, I had a seizure, but I was able to reconnect to my thought process before having the seizure, and that's never happened. So that was really neat. So it's not like I don't know, a set program where like 3 months and you're done, you're good to go. It's like, you stay on it until you get to the benefits that you want. But I am seeing benefits, So my next goal is to get a small group of EOD techs who are interested, who are struggling with some sort of TBI issues, to go through that. So anyways, that's the reason there's a button for donations on there. We have started the process to turn this into a 501c3, because I feel like maybe I can get some grant money for that, and that'd be really helpful. And I don't know, I just really want to help my community and help those guys more. I have strayed away from talking more with EOD guys. I feel like that's something I'm not happy with, and I want to get back to that. Reconnect, even if it's just an EOD chat sesh. It doesn't have to be about mental health. I just think a lot of my friends, like the stories and the things that they achieved and they survived, it's really cool. So I like to share some of those stories and just get some more fun stuff in there. Even though I enjoy all these conversations, I was told by a really good friend, and he was like, yeah, some of it's kind of, clinical. And I'm like, yeah, I guess it is, but in my mind, that's what I enjoy. And I knew to like add just a little bit more of the funsies in there too, because I enjoy those too. Like, I wish you guys could hear some of the conversations I have offline. They're just all real fun. Let's see, going through. Already hit on the challenges. Yeah, I find when I don't want to do something, that's when I start doing, avoiding behaviors. And I have been doing that hard for like the last month and a half, 2 months. In addition to that, doing a lot of work for other things too, not just this podcast. So I feel like the podcast has really taken a hit this year, and I haven't got as many episodes out as I need to, and I need to reprioritize that. And I think if I start chasing really enjoyable topics again, then we can get there. And yeah, I just want to thank everybody who's listening. You guys are amazing. I appreciate all the comments, all the ones that DM me on Instagram. I do that more on Facebook. I'm sorry if you're hitting me up on Facebook. I don't go there very often. I just feel like it's like spammy robots, and man, I just have to delete all the psychedelic spam on every comment. Like, I really enjoyed talking about psychedelics and going through that, but my goodness, ever since I did that, I did just nonstop spam on Facebook. But anyway, so I just wanted to do a quick summary of my episodes this year and what they meant to me, and my fondness of these individuals. So episode 54 was Matt Domyancic. Dude's amazing. I really enjoyed it. Go look him up at tacticalchaplain.com. He's a really awesome speaker. I like his take on spirituality, and I just like how he's not a talker. He's a doer, and he's leading by example. And he's connected me with some other people that I feel like are doing the exact same thing. We'll get to him, but 58 episodes, we'll just do it now. We'll do it. There's no rules to this. Episode 58, Steve Odom, Spartan Shooting. I really enjoyed him, and that episode was really fun. He's another person leading by example, and I really like talking to people like that, and I have friends in my life that are like that, like Matute and some of the other crew, like Low, like these guys, they're not just strong people, but, well, they are just strong people. And the reason they are strong people is because they do what you should be doing. They're living the life that you should be living. And they're not like trying to knock down your door saying, listen to me. They're just, they're living by example. And by that example, it draws other people in to be like, okay, I want to do more of that. And that's the kind of lifestyle that I want to live. I don't ever want to have to like tell someone, like, this is what I think works. I just want them to be like, man, like, how are you able to do that? And then be like, oh, well, it's just consistency. I feel like it's basically everything that I've learned over the last couple of years is if you're consistently moving in the positive direction and doing the positive things that you should be doing, you're going to get to a place that you can't believe. You're like, this is awesome. Then we got Dr. Zelfin. Man, I had a 3-hour, I've already talked about it in 100 episodes, but a 3-hour conversation, maybe not three, but it was a long conversation with Dr. Zelfin, and I never hit the record button. So the fact that she was able to let me come back on and have the conversation again was amazing. And then on top of that, I just really loved her insight. And on my short to-do list in the next few years, I definitely want to go check out one of her retreats and see how that is. But yeah, her perspective on psychedelics, I thought it was really fun. She has personal interest, she likes it. That's something that she's into. But I feel like when we talked about it, she just broke it down from a really like scientific point of view. And it didn't feel biased to me anyway. And I just thought it was a fun conversation because you hear a lot about MDMA and psilocybin. And if you look at some of the old research, like in the 70s, like it was doing a lot of good stuff. And I feel like there's real potential there. And hopefully there's more research that goes into it, and it makes it more available when it is proven to be awesome, which to me it already has. But then there's Robin, Pathway to Wellness with Robin. She's awesome. It was great. I think I came back from Ukraine in 2023, and me and her connected and had an episode. And then after that, she was inspired to go do her own thing, and she's crushing it. I really enjoyed her episode. I was so pumped to be on her podcast, and I thought it was really cool. So I hope she's still doing awesome. I need to reach out to her if you're listening, Robin. Sorry, but hit me up anytime if you ever need anything. Peter Forcelli, ATF director. That was a really powerful story. Listening to him talk about his struggles after 9/11, and the impact of that, and just his journey through life. And I think he was the first one, him and Steve Odom, they both, like if you're making a big transition in life, like getting out of the military, getting out of your first responder, like police force, nursing, whatever, before you get out of that, 6 months out before retiring, starting to go into therapy and really like checking in with yourself, making sure you end your time the way you want to. And then additionally, you have a plan in place for the next chapter. And I thought that was really cool. I think once I decide to walk away from my current career field, that's exactly how I want to handle it too. Just want to wash my hands of it, move to something different, which there's some things in the work. Man, fingers crossed if that works out. I think that'll be my path forward. We got hopefully working on a mental health app. We'll see how it goes. But right now it's still in the award process. But after that, we got Steve Odom. Talked on him briefly. Really appreciate him and the way he's just living a life that I think that I should be living more of, So I love having those people in my life that I look up to and want to be more like, because I see how I could be better. And he's definitely one of those. Rob Sanderson was swell. Really enjoyed that. He's such a nice guy. It's I got so many friends out here in Hawaii that surf, and it's just really therapeutic for them. So for him to be giving that an opportunity, like giving others an opportunity to do that, that's really awesome. And I really like the way that him and we'll talk about Lieutenant Sarko, Lieutenant Sarko, he's episode 62, but they both talked on, having these conversations with your peers. I remember a lot of my conversations, they usually involved a lot of alcohol because it was in a bar, it was other places. And they were both talking about like those conversations and those times when you're actually talking about the old stories and working through things, or just like shooting the shit. Like those are really fun. And it's really beneficial for you. It's in the environments that I was doing it in, that then there may be like some negative consequences. You drink too much, fights, things of that nature, because that's usually what we would do, because we get all pumped up, and then these guys are talking about doing those things in environments like, while you're surfing or sitting around the barbecue. I really like that. And then we got Gina Grazza. That was fun. She's hilarious. I really enjoyed that. And again, she's very pro psychedelics and MDMA, and I feel like she approached it from a non-unbiased direction, and it was really fun to listen to that, as well as the idea of therapy being fun. That's not something that I feel like many people would say in the same sentence. So when she was talking about how MDMA assisted therapy can be fun, I'm like, sounds pretty interesting, It was a bummer that didn't get approved. My understanding of it was because they couldn't, what was it? Like you can't really, like, it's supposed to be MDMA and the other one's supposed to be like a placebo, but you can't really have a placebo for MDMA. It's not going to be like, when you've got it, So I thought that was pretty interesting. Dr. Carlton, I really loved his study. I like the work he's doing in Canada. Like that is just, it's really inspired me to chase another direction that I want to do, which is a holistic approach to mental health. And we're working on that with a couple of companies. And I think that that'd be a really neat project to do with him and see where it goes. But I think the idea of doing a daily mental health check, as he talks about, it reduces the probability of PTSD and mental health challenges down the road. So I feel like just normalizing that would be a really cool idea. Then we got Lieutenant Sarko. He was great. Dr. Lee, she was really inspirational. I like how she's like no bullshit kind of lady, and she's always out there lifting heavy stuff. That's something I can speak to and confirm for me. Lifting heavy stuff really helps me with my mental health. You know, if I'm feeling a little bit glum, I go in there and do some squats or deadlifts or clean and jerks, and it's just, I don't know, it works for me. In addition to that, she's doing great work out there. And then there's Dr. Gordon. Dr. Gordon's episode, I mean, dude's pretty busy guy. You know, he's running a couple different organizations. He's all over the place. He's on Joe Rogan. I heard maybe going on Ryan Sean, all these other really large podcasts. And not only for him to take the time to do an episode with me, but then he also assisted me in getting into one of his programs and linking up with his daughter. His daughter's doing a lot of like gastrointestinal work, and like the combination of that, like I really feel awesome, you know, and I want to see like where it goes. I'm 3 months into it, looking to do at least another 3 months, but yeah, so that's the gist. That's what this year's been about. Next year's going to be really fun too. We'll see where it goes. There's a lot of work opportunities that are coming my way, which pretty pumped about my personal career life. But the podcast, I have at least 4 or 5 in the works, and I have another 6, I think, to edit. And I'm just so blessed to get individuals of these caliber who have so much knowledge to share and experience to share to just jump on here and talk about it. I don't know. It's been really fun. But on that, I'm going to wrap it up. And I hope you guys have the best Christmas and holiday season. And if you're bored, I don't know, if you're feeling a little bit alone, you're not alone. Reach out, talk to me, hit me up on any of the social medias. Yeah. And we'll go, I don't know, if you're on the islands, Big Island, Hawaii, hit me up. Go for a hike or something fun. But anyways, you guys are awesome. Appreciate you. Bye.